Just 12 years ago, Alijon Kamalov of the Jizak region of Uzbekistan was the richest man and most successful farmer in the region. He accumulated over $7 million in his accounts. Alijon Kamalov was only 31 when he started his own farm in 1997. In a short time, his farm yielded up to 500 tons of vegetables and fruit and about 1,000 tons of grain. The young farmer boldly developed horse breeding, and his sheep herd of famous Gisars reached 700. But real fame came to his farm thanks to the greenhouses that he built on 16 hectares of land, using only his own money. He went to Georgia and brought back seedlings of lemon trees of the best commercial varieties. The lemon trees took off splendidly. 150 tons of lemons were sold in the markets across Uzbekistan every year. The farm's income sharply increased. 350 of its employees received wages timely and without delays. They flew for vacations to popular health resorts and spas, and they were rewarded for their work with cars and other bonuses. Several million accumulated on the bank accounts of Alijon Kamalov's farming enterprise. People believed in the successful businessman, and in 1999, Alijon Kamalov was elected to the Regional Council of Jizak region. The disaster came in the summer of 2004. All of a sudden, the young businessman and deputy of the Regional Council was arrested. Even his fellow deputies knew nothing of the arrest, because Alijon Kamalov was not deprived of his immunity as an elected official. During interrogations, the investigators tortured the farmer. They tied my legs to the table, and at first I thought that they were just joking and wanted to scare me. But when they started to pull out my nails, I lost consciousness from pain. I don't know how long I was lying unconscious, and when I came back, they again began to force me to sign some documents. I refused. They said they would pull out my nails again. Then I thought about my health and told them that I would sign the papers, but with the words, "I do not agree." Alijon Kamalov, a farmer and a deputy of the Regional Council, was accused of abuse of power, embezzlement and forgery. He was sentenced to 12 years in prison. According to Alijon Kamalov, people who wanted to testify to his innocence were forced to silence by the investigators of the Jizak region, and those who refused to keep silent were brutally tortured. After my arrest, my workers were under a lot of pressure from the authorities, and some were arrested. For example, my employee Sultan Kolboev did not want to testify against me, and the investigators were doing to him what even the Nazis did not do. They shoved a truncheon in his anus. 3 months later, the man died. While in prison, Alijon wrote more than 300 letters to all kinds of authorities proclaiming his innocence. He submitted complaints to every level of government, from the head of the regional administration to the president of the country. And finally, in 2008, 4 years after his arrest, an amnesty was declared and he was released from prison. Alijon immediately went to his farm. He saw a bleak picture. All the property had disappeared from his farm. In place of the famous greenhouses were only ruins. The bank accounts of his farm were empty. Millions of dollars disappeared without a trace. I went to see my farm. Of the 16 hectares of greenhouses, only 6 hectares were left. Everything was destroyed or sold out. Not a single lemon seedling remained. Only their signboards were left standing, and all my equipment had been sold off. From the day of his arrest, Alijon Kamalov has been looking for justice. Tirelessly, he writes complaints. Over the past 7 years, Alijon Kamalov applied for an appointment with the president 65 times. But until today, it remains the farmer's dream to see his president and tell him about his grief. In 2010, he at last was able to get an appointment with the then Ombudsman of the Republic, Sayora Rashidova. But the answer Alijon Kamalov received from the official, whose duty is to protect citizens from arbitrary actions of executive authorities and officials, shocked him. I told everything to the Ombudsman. She listened to me attentively and suddenly said, "Here you are telling me that you were a victim of injustice and you were sent to prison, then came to me for the truth. That's good. But imagine that you're going out of here and go down into the subway, and there the police detain you, and they put drugs or terrorist leaflets in your pockets, and then you go again to prison for many years. What would you do?" I was surprised and said, "Sayora Opa, why me? How can they just go and arrest me?" She said, "Here you are telling me that you liked the president and never violated his laws, but still, you were illegally arrested and sent to jail just so. Then why do you think that this will not happen again? Can you answer me?" I said nothing and walked away from her.
hayron bo'ldim-da, yaxshi ichadilla, sanga dilla, bitta maslahatim dilla, uyga bor, sabr qilib kut dilla. Boshqa narsanga hech qanday narsani maslahat berolmayman dilla. Yoqqa bor, bu yoqqa bor deb aytolmayman dilla.
Alijon Kamalov also presented his case to the director of the National Center for Human Rights of the Republic of Uzbekistan, chairman of the Committee for Democratic Institutions, Akmal Saidov. To the surprise of the farmer, the response of the main human rights defender of the Republic sounded like insulting mockery.
Yana keldim, keyin kelganimda xullas meni qabul qildi. Ha, tinchlikmi? Mana shunday nohaqlik, adolatsizlik bu.
I told my story to Akmal Saidov. He heard me out and gave me his brochures. Then he said, "Why are you fighting with windmills? Leave all to God and that's it." I replied, "Akmal Aka, if they fear neither God nor the laws, what should I do? If we all behave like that and don't want to punish the injustice, what will happen to our honor?" The Ombudsman tried to scare me and said that again they can plant some drugs on me and have me arrested. I said, "You're telling me to leave everything to God, so where are we poor souls to go?" Then Akmal Saidov became nervous and kicked me out of his office. Sabit Muhammadiev, an employee of the Office of the President of the Republic of Uzbekistan, spoke with a remarkable openness at a meeting with Alijon. This is what the influential official from the President's office told me. "Alijon Kamalov, I'll tell you frankly, your case was a contract job. And contract jobs we do not reconsider, so live on and keep your mouth shut." In September 2015, Alijon Kamalov met with a staff officer of the General Prosecutor's Office, Sherzod Aminov. After the officer's reply, the farmer understood why the laws are not working in Uzbekistan. I showed him brochures of the Constitution of the Republic, farming legislation and the Criminal Code of Uzbekistan, and said that those laws were signed by our president and they do not work. Sherzod Aminov said to me, "When the president signed these laws, he was drunk." I was surprised and told him, "You, a government officer, dare say so about the president?" And he replied with contempt, "Hey, what are you, a patriot?"
Shunchalik vatanparvar bo'lib qoldingmi dilla. Yo'q, men vatanparvarlikdan emas, men qonunni so'rayapman.
Now, after 8 years of release from prison, and through heavy ordeals in his search for justice, Alijon Kamalov is convinced that he became a victim of a forcible takeover by those in high offices. He had 7 billion sums in his bank accounts, about $7 million at the 2004 rate of exchange. That's what attracted officials who ruined a successful farm.
Lekin ari 7 milliard pul yo'q bo'lyapti.
Qayerga ketadi?
7 milliard pulda boyda
Those 7 billion were divided between themselves by the hero of Uzbekistan, Marat Zakirov, Deputy Interior Minister Bawadir Kurbanov, Head of Regional Administration Yaman Kulov, Presidential Advisor Bakhtiar Gulyamov, and Deputy Prosecutor General Azimjon Ergashev. Not a penny was left. Then came some people from the prosecutor's office and said, "If you do not remain silent, we will make sure that you will regret that you were born into the world. Uzbekistan will be hell for you." Alijon is not writing complaints anymore, nor does he apply for appointments with senior officials. At the end of our conversation, he appealed to international organizations. I appealed to international human rights organizations. Please help me. Prior to this, I applied to the United Nations 4 times, and they replied that they could not interfere in the internal affairs of Uzbekistan. I love my country, the President, and I'm asking for your help in my fight against the evil forces in the guise of officials. I'm pleading with you to protect my family and me.
Oilamni, o'zimni o'z himoyalaringga olishlaringni iltimos qilib so'rardim sizlardan.